Hello and welcome to the Stellar Devils preview show. Myself, Graham Munsey, joined by Dave Harley, as we look ahead to, I guess we say this for the final time, Dave, we look ahead to Armadale's match on Friday and a visit from the Leicester Lion Cubs. A match that, I guess everything's on Armadale. If Armadale win, they know they avoid that wooden spoon, and that's what everyone in the camp will be looking for, Dave.
Yeah, final match of the regulation season for the National League, and it's top v bottom, and there is only one result can make a difference to that league table. That's if Armadale win on Friday night. Tough ask against a team that's in not only the playoffs and top the league, and they're also in the knockout cup final, and we know how good the Leicester Lions were in the championship as well. So it's a tough ask for the boys, but when they look back at the corresponding fixture last year, it was a solid 50-40 win for the Devils. So we'll be hoping to build on a reasonable performance at Plymouth away on Tuesday night and try and finish the season in style with 3 points and, as you say, get off the bottom of the table.
Yep, that's the aim, and we'll hear from Devils number 2, Josh Embleton, who was probably star of the show in that big win over Bellevue last week. And Dave, you touched on it there, a reasonable performance at Plymouth, and one that with no offence to anyone that stepped in, I maybe would say with the Devils' normal reserves, we might have been able to sneak a point out of that. But we take it back to the last Friday and Devils' best result of the season, and kind of the feeling in the camp now that the league comp one's in and settled. Like Kelly's ridden probably half a dozen plus matches now. Is the season's ending too soon? If this was the 1-7 that started the season, then I'm not suggesting we would have been up there with your Leicesters and Berwicks, but I don't think this would have been a wooden spoon decider on Friday.
No, it has been a tough season for the Devils, and we started off so badly with losing at home. But as you say, the team is now coming into their own. They're starting to make progress, show potential. Even Tom and Danny, I'm sure they'll both by their own accounts say they've not had a great season, but they're starting to pick up some points as well. Some big wins for Danny last week, and Elliot, and even Karen Leiden, unfortunately, he's injured this week, but he picked up some good points on Friday night, and there was some good thoughts for him. They obviously got that second place in the National League pairs as well. So so the season has turned out a lot better than it was looking earlier on, and it'll look even better if they can finish off and still this week.
That's it. The season on an upward trend, maybe just too late. But you mentioned you're second in the pairs, with the league coming fourth in the National Development League individual as well. So there's crumbs there to take from the season. And as we speak on Wednesday lunchtime, the hope is that 2 off the 3 missing Devils from Tuesday at Plymouth will be back. Josh Embleton's back, seems to be healing, so hopefully he'll be able to take his place, and it would be a lot better for us if we did, after I spoke to him last Friday night to get an interview for us here today. And Gregor Miller will be available. It was unavailability through work. It meant that, and hard to blame what's Gregor, 19-year-old kid that he can't get a Tuesday off work to travel 800 miles round trip or something. Unfortunately, as you touched on, Kieran will probably miss out. He dislocated his shoulder in an amateur meeting at Redcar last Sunday, but Lewis Miller is prepped to step in there with the Miller boys at reserve. And Dave, if we're going to bring anyone in as a guest, Lewis definitely knows the score, and yes, it's a different calibre, but having watched the last couple of Northern Junior League matches, he's probably riding better than Gregor is just now. So it could be a wee chance for him, if he wants to have another go at National League next year, just to remind clubs that he's available.
Yeah, that's it. He took a step away because it just wasn't really working for him, and he clearly wasn't enjoying it. And guys at this level, as much as they're looking to be stars in the future, they want to just enjoy their sport, enjoy racing, and get as much out of it as they can. So hopefully that step back's done him some good. And as you say, this opportunity on Fridays to see whether he can push himself to go for it again next season, because I'm sure he is keen to. I'm sure he's keen to get things going. But it's a chance for him, another chance for Gregor to push on a bit as well, and the young guys in the Devils team, and what potentially could be the last Devils match again, the same as the Monarchs situation. But we're hoping it'll be maybe finish season on a high and things to look forward to.
That's it. And you mentioned enjoying their speedway, and one man who certainly was last weekend was Josh Embleton. He just missed out on a paid max after a little bit of a mishap at the start. And he'd 10, but I caught up with him after. We'll hear from him now. So Josh, after talking to you just after the Bellevue match, 11 points, and I'd say but for the ref hitting that button a bit quick in your last one, could have been a max.
Yeah, that's it. We were on it from the start, which is what we should have been doing all year. Everyone struggled from the start. Me myself, heat ones I've struggled with every single week. Tonight proved different. I knew what I had to do. That's why I came and got laps in last week. The last heat, don't really know what happened. I was still in the middle of doing my gate, and I heard everyone revving up, and off we went type thing. So that sort of crushed the hopes of a paid max. Yeah.
Well, I mean, you got that heat one. I think it's at least the second time now we've seen Lion. You're far enough in front, he wasn't shepherding you, but riding with something like that, every corner he's looking, he's shutting off, he's pointing you. For your experience, even to learn how to get quicker and attack the track and stuff, that must be just unbelievable.
Yeah, absolutely. Me and Lee sort of collecting, with him being at number one and me at number two, we've collecting, as you've seen tonight. Every heat while we give out, apart from the last one, we won a 5-1, and I was behind him in the first one. He protected us. I was behind him on the second one that way out, and it worked an absolute treat. And let's move on to next week and do the same again.
Yeah, you mentioned next week, obviously Leicester, they're already in the playoffs, so who knows how they'll be going for it. But for the Devils' point of view, 2 matches still to go, and it's just about making sure we don't finish bottom, and a bit of pride, and probably the season's just going to finish too early.
Yeah, we're not in the playoffs, but I'm still here to win meetings. I'm not yet just go to a meeting and just think we've got no chance to win. Now I want to go out and win more meetings. So the last meeting, let's go and win it. Yeah.
Yep, and we're getting to that stage. We're into October now. Season's almost over. You enjoyed your year with the Devils?
I have, but I wish this was just the start of the year. I've struggled. I've had meetings where I've scored half decent points, and then meetings where I've scored nothing. And I just wish the meeting was just the season was just sort of starting now, because I've just sort of gotten the swing of it, But obviously it's too late. And let's move on to next year and see what we can do.
Do you think for guys like yourself it's difficult? Obviously, your average is too high, you're too good for things like the Northern Junior League that's going on. You've not got a championship place, so when there's 6 weeks between meetings, 4 weeks between meetings, and you're coming up against guys riding 2-3 times a week.
Yeah, well, absolutely, I can say that. But if I had have came straight on a win of a season from 2019, obviously COVID hit. If I had have came straight in a win of a season from there, I think I would have improved and I would have got better and better. But because of COVID, I think I went downhill, and I came into the year with the average I was on. And I struggled, and I'm sort of only just getting to grips with the position I'm riding at now within the year.
And obviously that stage of the year, people start looking forward to 2023. Big question mark over the Monarchs, over the Devils. Yeah. If they're back, and the phone call comes from Alex or John.
If they're back, I would love to be there again. If not, what happens? Who knows? Do you know what I mean? So.
But if not, Josh Embleton will be back at tapes in 2023, so
absolutely.
If the Devils aren't there for every other promoter, pick up the phone.
Absolutely, yeah, I want to be back, yeah, absolutely.
Well, thanks very much, Josh. Josh, there, your enjoyment was the word we spoke about before the interview, and really seems to be enjoying it. And I can't help but feel a lot of that's to do with having Lee Compline by his side of Trees each. And we've seen Lee come in, I don't know, you missed the meeting last Friday, but there was the one a few weeks ago, I forget against who, where Lee, it was the same heat one last week. Every corner he's looking over his left shoulder, his right shoulder, he's pointing to Josh where to go. And then even the next heat, Lee's in front of Josh and he's still pointing him, hit the inside, I'm on the outside, hit the inside, John. First in every pit bay, well, we've got the pit's camera on the stream. He was in every pit bay during the night. Every time there was a stoppage, first man out on the track was Lee Compline. And add that to the points, which unbelievable full 15-point maximum at Plymouth. He was on a different stratosphere on Tuesday at Plymouth, and what a difference he's made.
Yeah, he's clearly loving his speedway, loving doing what he's doing, getting involved with the guys. As you say, if you listen to Adam Royden's interview today, talking about it, he's just like, there's no way I'm going anywhere near him. He's on it. I'll leave him to do the wild stuff. But Lee loves it. Gets that leg flying. Really exciting to watch. And you talk about put himself in the shop window. He's one that I'm sure teams in the Championship and the National League will be desperate to sign for next season. So yeah, brilliant end to the season for Lee, and really nice guy. So I'm really pleased for him.
Yep. If we flick it over to the Leicester side of the pits now, obviously you touched on it there. They finished top of the pile in the regular season standings. They're into the KO Cup final. They've got playoff matches next week against Oxford to come. So I guess if we, from a Devils point of view, you maybe hope that they just take the foot off the pedal a wee bit. This is a rubber match for them, as they call it. But you only look at the strength down that team. The Thompson boys. Connor Cole's probably had his best season at that level, maybe his best season in the sport in a good few years. He's been in a few championship teams as well. So led from the front, but a lot of point score potential throughout.
Yeah, I mean they're top of the table for a reason, as you always say. And Dan and Joe possibly arguably getting to the stage where they're too good for that league. They'll be in the championship playoffs final as well as the National League semis. And so two cracking riders have scored good points at Armadale at the National League level before, and they've been a good. Leicester's been a good example of bringing youth through the last few years, like say young Ben. They had Ben Trigger last year, and Tom Spencer, Vinnie Ford, guys like that. Real potential for the sport and something for them to build on. But as you say, maybe they'll have thoughts on other things. They'll be halfway through their semi-final. I think they're at Oxford tonight, and then the home match on Saturday. So yeah, I'm sure they won't want to blemish their record, but it won't be their top priority on Friday night, and one for the Devils to take advantage of, hopefully.
Yeah, so of course, Leicester as a club have announced that the Lions, the championship team, will be taking a step up into the Premiership next year. So, while that's now a two-step jump rather than a one-step jump, still, that progression and a good chance, and probably a model to a lot of clubs has been that Leicester set up for the last few years. Success at all levels and guys moving up through the chain. Exactly what we like to see, and what Edinburgh have been trying to achieve with the Devils, what Berwick have been trying to achieve with the Bullets, what Plymouth, every club that has two wants to do that. But this will be it for Team Speedway point of view, Dave. On Friday night, of course, they have as it's tagged at the moment, farewell to Armadale Scottish Open. Thanks to Raffle Coaches and Sports Event Scotland. I forgot, I'll double check on that and make sure I've got that one right for next week, who are sponsoring it and supporting that. But before we get to that, it's a chance for the Devils to finish off strong. We always like to show you some previous matches. Mike's went haywire the last 2 weeks. Last week it was the Leningrad. This week we're going back to 1968. I think it's a Sheffield Leicester match from then, and we'll see those heats now.
On to Heat 2 now, with Norman Storer in red, Alan Cowland in blue, Brian Maxted in white, and Dave Buck in yellow and black. And in the blue, out in front, it's Alan Cowland. And in second place in yellow, Davy Buck. But now in the red helmet, Norman Storer's come through to meet his partner, Cowland. So it's the Leicester Lions, in a 5-1 lead at the moment here. And the Leicester pairing looks set for a 5-1 win here. So there we are, going over the line. Alan Cowland first, Norman Storer second, Davy Buck third. Heat 3, Graham Plant in red, John Hart in blue, Bent Larson in white, Bob Paulson in yellow and black. And in the lead, in the red helmet, Graham Plant, and chasing Graham Plant, Bent Larson, Sheffield Swedish rider. Very stylish rider, but his size can make him awkward at times. And here we see Larson challenging Plant now, forcing him to the outside, and Graham gets ahead again. Bent sticking to the inside, knowing that he should get through. And there goes Bent Larson now, out in front of Graham Plant. 1 lap to go, and it's Bent Larson the winner, Graham Plant second, John Hart third, a 3-all.
No one can do us under the Trades Description Act for blasts from the past the last couple of weeks, Dave. It's great to see footage like that. It's always interesting to see some of the names, and these names you know of, but certainly I didn't get a chance to see. I won't speak for your age, but I don't think you'd have been kicking about in 1968 at this speedway.
No, 1968 is too early for me as well, but yeah. Great days of Speedway, and I'm sure we all wish we could get some of them back. But yeah, but we've got them on treat, as you say, big match on Friday night for the Devils to go in style, and then a week on Saturday with that Scottish Open will be hopefully a great end to the season on the track.
Yeah, and as I say, Friday night is the Leicester Lion Cubs that come visit Armadale. Tickets are available now at both edinburghmonarchs.co.uk and armadaledevils.co.uk. For those that can't make it along, the match will be live streamed. Myself and Mike will be up in the box hosting that. And again, that's both those websites and then the EMTV link on there. But that'll just about do it for us here, Dave. I guess we'll be back on Friday night with the focus. Until then, as always, thanks for watching and goodbye.